Hey guys, how you doing? This is Ryan Date, aka Date Ryan, someone on Twitch and on Twitter. A member of the Hashira podcast. We talk all things anime and nerd and anime fans. If you have ever lost yourself in the sprawling epics of one of your favorite shows and felt a kinship with characters who start from humble beginnings to become legends, or wish you could explore worlds that are filled with magic, mystery, adventures, and stuff of that nature, then Dungeons and Dragons is the best way to get you to live out those anime fantasies. And this is why you should do it.
I'd like to begin with a fact.
Imagine stepping into a world akin to your favorite anime protagonist, where you're wielding powers or skills that shape the world around you, and D&D is an unparalleled canvas in being able to do that, where you're not just a spectator watching the anime show, but you're a part of the character. One of the main characters, as a matter of fact, if you're a player character, or the dungeon master who helps write out the world in its entirety, where you get to be a part of the unpredictable plots and the situations that are happening, turning all of these serious challenges into triumphs that make every victory sweeter as your character grows and continues to grow. Dungeons and Dragons is an amazing thing for anime fans to play, and I really think that we as anime fans should like kind of jump in and experience this kind of wonderful place where we could sit at a table together and enjoy what we love about anime among stories we get to tell with each other. And that's the great thing about Dungeons and Dragons. You get to be a part of all of those things that you really like and think about. As I said earlier, think about being able to be like your main anime, one of your favorite main anime protagonists. If you are a big fan of One Piece and Luffy, and you like the idea of being on the high seas and being able to go to different islands on your ship against the forces that would keep you and take your freedom away and try to do all the nasty things that they have done to the people who exist in the world of One Piece, there's a D&D game where you can definitely do that and be pirates just like that, where you have powers and abilities that can mirror those from devil fruits or other things that you like in the show. There are even big intimidation things that can even rival what hockey looks like to those players who can't stand up in the face of your awesome might when you grow levels to get there, of course. And also, if you want to be that guy who's all about friendship and your character is a wizard and you're very fairy tale-y, guess what? There's a place for that. And even if you go a little funnier slash darker, where you want to be kind of that Don feel, where it's like you're connected to an older existence or a supernatural being, and they're the one giving you powers, and you have to deal with the way that they want to give it to you unless you learn how to handle it right. You can also be a warlock and do it just like that. There are so many different ways and tropes that you can even do this. Imagine being the dark edgelord who is Batman. And every time something comes up, you want to be that character who is looking to get vengeance or justice. You can be that character too. And there's a way that all of the players at the table can be those different characters together. And since you're telling a story that is being controlled by dice, it's always unpredictable. And it's just a fun way to play the game. I think that a lot of us as Dungeons and Dragons players who are anime fans or vice versa can enjoy telling the stories in the epic novels that we can create together by just enjoying this game. And I want you to think about how awesome that could be. And not only that, I just think it's a better way that we can get together and share these stories. Just being able to explore the themes of camaraderie and personal growth the way that we do in anime is kind of the way that we do it in Dungeons and Dragons. You start off as a low-level character who is learning how to wield your magic or your abilities as a fighter who is still more exceptional than most but hasn't got to that level yet. And as you grow levels, you become better and more well-known. Think of it just like that kind of crawling adventure you get from most of your characters who you've seen come from nothing to become something. Or maybe something in your story, your character story, allows you to just kind of jump from what has allowed you to be who you are into forming into the person that you have now become and using those powers to be better. Think of it. Your family left behind some sort of power on the inside of you that kind of helped you to be better than mostly everybody else, but you had to learn how to harness it. And once you did, you became great. And now people look to follow you. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Naruto. There are a bunch of different things that we can do with Dungeons and Dragons that will let us kind of feel those things out. When you get into combat, being able to describe how your character works, moves, and feels and does things allows you to add to that feeling of what an anime is supposed to be. If your character is into casting magic, and as you put your hands together, so because you get to explain how how your magic looks, the colors, everything, and as you put your hands together and you start to see this crackling resplendent yellow light form from the tips of your fingers as it runs up and down the veins going into your inner chest and then going right back out, and you hear a crackling noise as this yellow light now forms in between your hands, and this arcane ball and mote of light now is at your fingertips to use as you want. It's something that you could do. Or if you're a cool, like monk sort of character, you use your hand to hand combat or even a staff as you run horizontally across a wall in a way that's perpendicular to the ground, and you jump, tumbling a couple of times in the air in this wonderful somersault as you land on your feet, crouched ready to strike the opponent in front of you. You can also do that too. Dungeons and Dragons just gives us an avenue and a vehicle in order to express ourselves and be a part of those worlds in which we love to be in. And I think that as anime fans, being able to do that is a really cool way of living out the things that we like to do, or living out, I guess. And I think that we should all enjoy it. I was really pleasantly surprised when I went over to DreamCon last year. And they had a whole RPG room. And when I walked in, there was a bunch of people playing Dungeons and Dragons, and even more so, people who were just watching or trying to play so they can get into the game and figure it out. Role playing and storytelling is something that allows us to connect on a different level. And being able to tell those stories and making our stories come together to create one big book or one big, I guess, anime season or anime show, if you will, is amazing. And so, and hold on a second. DreamCon. Yeah, you. So, DreamCon, I need you guys to give us a better set of things to use for our RPG room next year. We need more people who can be dungeon masters and more people who know about it and spread the word, because there were a lot of people who wanted to play who couldn't play that weekend, and it hurt me. So I feel like we should make it more available, more accessible. Get us some more stuff that we can use, some speakers to make sure our games have background music, maybe a screen or a monitor so we can display some of the information or some of like the environments that we're using while we're running our games. And even so, maybe some microphones. And if anything, I'd love to be a DM on one of your bigger stages. And if you guys want to play, you guys should play. Yeah, already so world. I'm talking to you. Mark, you guys should be in a Dungeons and Dragons game. You'd absolutely love it. And you guys would be absolutely hilarious. I'm just saying. So, we should definitely do that. Yeah. But anyway, so it was really cool to see that. And I was excited to walk into that sort of room and to see Dungeons and Dragons being pushed and moved forward is something that is kind of good on my heart. As anime fans and as people who have been playing video games, if you're a video game nerd, or been watching movies and watching anime, there are a lot of things and characters that you kind of link with and bond with, and you'd love to be able to try out some of their abilities or use some of them. You know, role play, of course, but nonetheless, it's still an awesome way to enjoy the game. And so, with that being said, I think that anime fans should play Dungeons and Dragons, and everybody should get a chance to enjoy the things that they like with their friends. And this way, it gives us a way that we can come together and not just be stuck, because COVID was a big time for Dungeons and Dragons. When we were all on Discord and learning how to play or watching the Critical Role, who I got a chance to meet, by the way, at Anime NYC, just walking around the street. But anyway, if you get a chance to do that, then you should. And it would be a great experience for you to do so. And if you want to practice your acting chops or your role play chops, that's also a place to do that. So this is the part where I invite you to play the right way. In embracing D&D, you are not leaving anime behind. You're stepping into a realm that amplifies everything you love about it. And you'll find yourself drawing parallels between your adventures to those of your favorite shows and characters, and possibly even incorporating the elements from those shows and stories into your gameplay. And it's a way to just celebrate the anime, and not just celebrate it, but to live it because you love it so much. And also, I think if you're an anime fan and you're looking to do something else cool besides just watching it and you want to be a part of something that's kind of similar to it, if you're seeking to get new horizons, if you will, consider this invitation to embark on the greatest adventure where your bonds and your only limits are your imagination, where you can embrace the spirit of exploration and camaraderie and the endless potential for epic tales that lie kind of at the heart of both anime and Dungeons and Dragons. And so that's why I think that you guys, anime fans like me, and other nerds should play Dungeons and Dragons. And don't worry if you can't role play. You learn how to do it to fall into it, or you could just kind of talk your regular voice and have your character do it. There's a learning curve, of course, because there's rules like video games do, but more of it is telling the story and enjoying the game, and I think that you will. So, if you haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to be part of the Hashira podcast and to be part of the Demon Slayer Village, and so that you can be a part of what's going on here. You can see the conversations that we have when we post our podcast, and we have conversations about anime and all those things, and all those other nerd conversations that we have. I would that you, as always, support people who support you and show love to people in general, because love is the best way to live. It is kind of embracing what it is that we do in our community so well, and that's be inclusive. I would that you continue to do all of the nerdy things that you enjoy, whether it's playing video games, playing Dungeons and Dragons, watching anime, or watching movies and stuff of that nature, because doing nerdy things that make you different give you a way to embrace the world in a way that other people don't have. And so you should continue to do that. And hey, above all these things, stay nerdy, my friends. Johnny.